AITA for backing out of my best friend's wedding. After she made me sign a bridesmaid behavior contract. When I first met Talia in college, she was a force of nature. You know the kind of girl who walks into a room and it feels like the temperature changes? That was her. She wasn't the loudest or the funniest or even the prettiest, but there was something about her that drew people in. Charisma, maybe, or just the sheer certainty she carried that the world would bend to her will. We met freshman year during orientation and were roommates by sophomore fall. Over time, we became the kind of friends who were practically stitched together, finishing each other's sentences, crying over breakups at 2 a.m., cramming for finals with energy drinks and bad takeout. There were always signs that Talia liked control. I don't say that to villainize her, it's just a part of who she is. She liked knowing where everyone stood. She liked being in charge of the vacation itinerary, picking the restaurant, choosing the music in the car. I didn't mind, honestly. I'm not a control freak by nature, and a lot of the time, it was just easier to let her take the reins. It was Talia who introduced me to my now boyfriend, Eli. Talia who helped me get my first post-college job. Talia who threw me a surprise birthday party when I turned 25 and cried more than I did because I wasn't reacting enough. So when she got engaged last year to her longtime boyfriend Logan, it was obvious I'd be part of the bridal party. In fact, she called me the night of her proposal, still breathless, champagne drunk and shrieking, "You're my maid of honor, duh!" I laughed and cried and celebrated with her over FaceTime. It was a perfect moment. At the time, it felt like this was the reward for our years of friendship. I was genuinely happy to do it. Planning a wedding is stressful, sure, and I expected drama. What I didn't expect was the level of micromanagement, emotional pressure, and sheer absurdity that would follow. From the jump, Talia was different. The venue was booked before Logan even told his parents. She created a Pinterest board for the bridesmaids' hairstyles before she had picked the color palette. But I chalked it up to excitement. After all, this was her big day. I told myself I'd be flexible. Then came the group email titled, "Bridesmaid Expectations. Please read carefully." That should have been my first clue that something was off. The email was 6 pages long. I'm not exaggerating. It included a detailed itinerary of pre-wedding events, some mandatory, some highly encouraged, guidelines for hair and makeup, no unnatural colors, lashes must be approved in advance, a dress code for all bridal-related outings, no white, black, or red unless cleared, and an entire section called social media etiquette. That one stunned me. It said no one was to post photos of Talia unless she had seen and approved them first, no announcing engagement-related events unless she had posted first, and absolutely no sharing of any wedding prep drama or venting online, even in private stories or close friends lists. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe it was just Talia being Talia, but the mood among the other bridesmaids was tense. In our group chat, minus Talia, the messages ranged from, "Is this real?" to, "Should we get lawyers?" One girl, Nadia, actually did get a lawyer, sort of. She asked her law school boyfriend if we could be held liable if we violated the contract. Because yes, the email was attached to a literal PDF contract we were expected to sign. The bridesmaid behavior contract was a 2-page document that included such gems as, "I will maintain a positive attitude throughout all wedding-related events. I will not gain or lose more than 5 pounds between dress fittings. I will avoid controversial hairstyles, tattoos, or accessories. I understand that violating these expectations may result in my removal from the bridal party." And then the kicker. Failure to uphold these expectations may result in financial penalties related to changes in dress orders, reservation cancellations, or other incurred costs. I called Talia. I was stunned, and honestly, a little hurt. "Is this a joke?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "No, why would it be a joke?" she replied, dead serious. "Look, I know it's intense, but every wedding has problems. Bridesmaids flake, they wear dumb shoes, they get drunk and cause drama. I just want to keep everything clean and stress-free." I told her I wasn't comfortable signing something with financial penalties. "It's just a formality," she said breezily. "You're my best friend. You'd never do anything to mess this up." And that's when the manipulation started. She reminded me of all the things she had done for me, how she introduced me to Eli, how she let me crash at her apartment after a bad breakup, how she paid for my birthday dinner when I was broke. It wasn't subtle, it was surgical. Talia knew exactly which guilt buttons to press. I didn't sign it right away, but I didn't refuse either. Over the next few weeks, the pressure only built. There were Zoom calls that ran past midnight where we ranked bridesmaid dress styles on a spreadsheet. Talia vetoed any opinions that weren't hers. When I suggested something more affordable, some of the girls were in grad school or between jobs, she gave a long, disappointed sigh and said, "This is why I had to make a contract." At some point, the excitement just left me. Being maid of honor no longer felt like a gift, it felt like a punishment. Everything I did was under scrutiny. When I posted a group photo from Talia's bridal shower, a sweet moment with us all laughing in matching robes, she messaged me 2 minutes later, "Can you take that down? I look bloated and the lighting is gross." When I missed one planning call because of a migraine, she texted the group, "Some people just aren't taking this seriously." I was suffocating. The final straw came 6 weeks before the wedding, during the bachelorette party planning. Originally, we agreed on a quiet weekend at a cabin. Talia had said she wanted cozy vibes, wine, and yoga pants. But now, she had changed her mind. Suddenly, she wanted a 4-day trip to Miami with matching swimsuits, club tables, and a private photographer. The budget jumped from $200 a person to over $1,300. A few of the girls were panicking. I brought it up gently. I told her not everyone could afford that, and that it was unfair to drop this on us last minute. Her response? "If people can't handle being bridesmaids, they shouldn't have agreed to it. It's not my fault they're broke." I was speechless. The Talia I loved, the one who cried with me when I didn't get the internship I wanted, who brought soup to my apartment when I had the flu, where was she? Or had that version of her only ever shown up when she needed something? Later that night, she sent me a voice memo. Her tone was eerily calm. "I'm really disappointed in you. I expected more. You're supposed to be my maid of honor. You, of all people, should understand how important this is to me. If you're not up for it, just say so." So I did. I wrote her an email, long and honest. I told her I loved her, but that I couldn't keep doing this. That the contract, the scrutiny, the financial expectations, they were all too much. I said I still wanted to attend as a guest, support her from the sidelines and cheer her on, but I could not be her maid of honor. Her reply came a day later. One sentence. "I hope the door hits you on your way out." She blocked me on everything. At first, I cried. I won't pretend I didn't. Talia had been my best friend for nearly a decade. She was there for all the pivotal moments. My first real breakup, the job I thought would change my life, the Thanksgiving I couldn't afford to fly home. We had shared apartments, clothes, dumb inside jokes that no one else understood. Letting go of that history, even when it was toxic, felt like cutting off a limb. But beneath the grief was something else. Relief. For the first time in months, I could breathe. I could go a day without 100 text notifications about tablecloth shades or arguments over whether lavender counted as too spring. I could talk to my boyfriend without rehashing Talia drama. My other friends, the ones who weren't in the bridal party, noticed immediately. "You seem lighter," one of them said. "Like yourself again." The girls in the bridal party were split. 2 of them messaged me privately to say they respected my decision. One dropped out a week later. Another told me I was selfish and dramatic, that it's just a wedding and that everyone's stressed. But even in that, I saw something clearly for the first time. How much we excuse mistreatment in the name of friendship. How often we let history blur the line between love and obligation. Talia's wedding happened 2 weeks ago. I wasn't invited. I saw photos online, mutual friends, her big white dress, the glittering ceremony by the coast. She looked beautiful. Of course she did. She always knew how to present perfection to the outside world. But behind her smile, I saw a woman I no longer knew. Or maybe for the first time, I was seeing her clearly. A few days ago, I got a letter in the mail. No return address, just my name written in delicate cursive. Inside was a printed invoice. I swear I'm not making this up. It listed the cost of the altered bridesmaid dress, the deposit on the Miami Airbnb, and a note that read, "Per the contract you originally agreed to, reimbursement is expected." I laughed. A full, aching, cathartic laugh. I didn't pay it. I showed it to Eli and then slid it into a drawer alongside the printed copy of that ridiculous bridesmaid behavior contract. Not out of pettiness. Out of reminder. A little shrine to boundaries, to the moment I chose self-respect over a friendship that had stopped being mutual a long time ago. Sometimes I still miss her. Or maybe I just miss who I thought she was. But I don't regret stepping away. Not anymore.